So, ladies and gentlemen, Muhoozi said, it can take us more than 2 weeks to it cannot take us more than 2 weeks to capture Tehran. A UPDF brigade is enough for that job. Then the Iranian Embassy in South Africa said, ladies and gentlemen, the latest phenomenon to entertain you on Africa's Got Talent. It's laughable. It's ridiculous and laughable. Then Winnie Byanyima responds saying, Uganda is a laughing stock of Iranian's embassy in South Africa. This must stop. Ugandans, our national defense, our regional and international relations, and she goes on to explain. Muhoozi Kainerugaba triggered immediate response with, this old stupid woman, if my father did not beat you enough in 1985 to 1986, trust me, I will. Jesus Christ. Who speaks like that?
He seemed to want very much to remind people that a long time ago I had a relationship with President Museveni, and yeah, I did. but what relevance was it there?
You're watching Mordecai Marissa Live Political Commentary. Please consider subscribing to help grow Uganda's Voices of Struggle ecosystem. Thank you.
I cannot appreciate you enough for using your valuable time to always go on social media, break down things for people.
Hey folks, now look, I'm no relationship expert. I have limited knowledge when it comes to relationship and stuff. I am not good. I don't think I'm even in a position to give advice to my younger brother on how he should handle a relationship. I'm not good in that field, and it is very okay. But at least I'm old enough to know for sure that in dating lifestyles or in dating life and relationship stuff, you can land into the hands of a person, girlfriend or boyfriend, and you live to regret why you really met those people. You'd be like, oh my God, what did I land myself into? And I believe this is what Winnie Byanyima, former partner of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, is feeling at this moment. I mean, don't take my word for it. I'm going to play you here. Howard is telling us there was a thing between herself and Museveni, and it didn't work out, and they had to take separate path. Now, it is one thing to look at a man whom you used to date being responsible for the misfortunes, for the torture of your current husband. But it is another when the torment is now added onto by his son. Museveni is torturing and abusing the rights of Winnie Byanyima's current husband, Dr. Kizza Besigye. Now, Muhoozi Kainerugaba is adding, as if that is not bad enough, Muhoozi Kainerugaba is adding on to that abuse. Unbelievable. So that's why I said, I think at one time she sees and she's like, oh my Lord, how I wish I never met Kaguta. She might be thinking that way. Okay. You might be wondering, hey, Mordecai, are you going to tell us about relationship tonight? Kinda, but not. What am I talking about, ladies and gentlemen? So, in a very shocking and unintended revelation, Muhoozi Kainerugaba, our neighbor baby, cast his father, Yoweri Museveni, in an intensely controversial light, appearing to suggest a history of violence by Museveni against women. Now, Muhoozi Kainerugaba, known for his erratic and often incendiary social media presence, he once again ignited outrage with a response that quickly spiraled beyond control. The episode began when Winnie Byanyima, again former partner of Museveni, criticized Uganda's growing international embarrassment. She was reacting to the mockery from the Iranian Embassy in South Africa, which had ridiculed, again, Muhoozi Kainerugaba's bold claim that Uganda could capture Tehran, the capital of Iran, within 2 weeks. Byanyima lamented that the country had become a global laughingstock. And I'll tell you, hey, no lie detected. Absolutely. We're becoming a laughingstock. What followed was explosive. In an extremely furious and deeply personal reply, Kainerugaba Muhoozi did not only threaten Winnie Byanyima, but also invoked a disturbing reference to the 1980s, suggesting that if his father had not beaten her enough during that period, he would do it himself. Imagine. I mean, how embarrassing. Suppose the allegations are true that Museveni used to beat Winnie Byanyima. Now, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Museveni is an abusive thug. You can see him. I mean, a man who did not believe democratic ways of changing power. He decided to go and launch a war. I mean, he's a thug in life. So, but imagine having to be reminded of what you went through, and now the son saying, hey, I'm going to do the same to you. I'm going to show you here. So this remark really detonated across the internet. Within moments, outrage, disbelief, and condemnation poured in, as many interpreted his words as alarming admissions of the past abuse of his dad. Let me show you here. This is what I'm talking about. Look, so the Iranian Embassy in South Africa tweeted and said, ladies, okay, this was Muhoozi Kainerugaba. I think I need to show you what he had tweeted earlier so that you put this into context. So, ladies and gentlemen, Muhoozi said, it cannot take us more than 2 weeks to capture Tehran. A UPDF brigade is enough for that job. Then the Iranian Embassy in South Africa said, ladies and gentlemen, the latest phenomenon to entertain you on Africa's Got Talent. It's laughable. It's ridiculous and laughable. Then Winnie Byanyima responds saying, Uganda is a laughing stock of Iranian's embassy in South Africa. This must stop. Ugandans, our national defense, our regional and international relations, and she goes on to explain. Muhoozi Kainerugaba triggered immediate response with, this old stupid woman. If my father did not beat you enough in 1985 to 1986, trust me, I will. Jesus Christ. Who speaks like that? Only a neighbor, baby Muhoozi Kainerugaba. Trust me, I'll beat you. You know, this is the true definition of when the clapback turns into a very bizarre confession. He believes that, let me say this, but he is instead now exposing his dad. Oh my God. Oh my God. So that's what he said. Now, I'm going to go on and show you. I had told you earlier that, there's no hiding of the relationship between Museveni and Winnie Byanyima. Let me show you here.
I had a tweet on the 20th February and say, on NBS TV, Andrew Mwenda goes off the matter under discussion, which is the illegal detention of Besigye, and brings up my relationship with President Museveni. If it is really of interest to him, he should wait for my book. It's an interesting story.
Yeah.
What do you think was the intention of this?
I don't know, because he seemed to want very much to remind people that a long time ago I had a relationship with President Museveni, and yeah, I did. but what relevance was it there? It was of no relevance.
What relevance is it now in this case?
None at all. Absolutely none. I mean, President Museveni is somebody I've known since I first became aware of the world. He was in my home, visiting our home when I was maybe 3 years old. I've known him all my life. So why he features there is not relevant, really. But I think that Mwenda just thought that this was an interesting angle, so I also threw it at him and said, okay, if you are interested, just wait for my book.
So if it's not relevant, then not all of a sudden, I'm sure you've thought about this.
Okay, he goes into, he does what you expect him to do, digging deep and wanting to make it more about the relationship. But you saw that Winnie Byanyima admitting that, yes, there was something between me and Museveni. And at that time, she actually went on to, when she made those comments, then Muhoozi Kainerugaba was so quick to respond. This is what he responded, telling Winnie Byanyima. He said, this is what he said. There was no normal, there was nothing normal about your relationship with my father, Yoweri Museveni. You found a happy home and tried to wreck it. You didn't leave. Muhoozi kicked you out of the house in December 1986 and sent you to your parents. I mean, take all the time you have, ladies and gentlemen. These folks are washing dirty linen in public. Like, are we supposed to know about the relationship of Museveni? Women is dated? Okay, I understand he's the president of Uganda. You know, his life should be public. But do we need these details of how he ended the relationship between him and Winnie Byanyima? But leave it to the impulsive Muhoozi Kainerugaba, who's going to be telling us how everything happened. Don't be surprised, probably, if we lived in an internet age in the 1986, he could probably share some naked photos of Winnie Byanyima to confirm this is what went down. It is bizarre, it is sickening, it is stupid to the core. But that's what he said. Then Winnie Byanyima was so quick to clap back. This is what he said. This I have to move my face so that you're able to read with me. She said, she tagged him and says, Muhoozi Kainerugaba, iwe mwana we, you sad, yetware, restrain yourself, control yourself. I feel it's important to be clear. There's a more complex history between your father and I that we have both chosen to move past with mutual respect. However, if you continue to present a false narrative, I may need to provide hard evidence of the facts. I prefer to maintain our dignified approach, but that choice remains yours. I consider this matter closed. Now, you clearly saw Muhoozi doesn't even care because he's got nothing to lose. So he continues to say all these stupid things because he knows for sure there's nothing to lose. Okay. Now, when he shared that, this is the response when he shared about how his dad used to beat Winnie Byanyima. This is the response from the internet. Ronald Muhinda said, I think he used to be PF of SG, said, whoa, a president, a revolutionary leader, and an original NRA rebellion commander is exposed by his son as an abusive man. How does a powerful leader turn a head of a woman into a punching bag? This social media age, a son is accusing his father of violence on a public platform. Ladies and gentlemen, this is when you pull the pin, but you forgot that you were holding the grenade. That's what Muhoozi did. He's holding this. He has this grenade in his hand and pulls out the pin. And he forgets to throw it away. What's going to happen? It's going to explode. And guess what? Who's going to die? So Muhoozi Kainerugaba is dying in his own movie. He thinks, oh, I'm exposing Winnie Byanyima and, I'm trying to vice signal and show how tough I am. End up exposing his own father. Now, I said that I'm not surprised that Museveni, these allegations, can be made about Museveni. You can tell how he talks to people. He demonizes. He looks at himself as this special kind of a human being. I mean, he's everything you don't want to be. You don't want to see in a leader. Isn't it very, very shameful, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, and this thing of you are kicked out of the Museveni house and stuff like that has been a talking point peddled by very many foot soldiers of Muhoozi. For example, you have Kamukama Freddy here says, Muhoozi kicked you out of the house in December 1986, dragged you to the car while you were crying and sent you to your parents, General Muhoozi, to, Byanyima. Now, for sure the relationship ended in a very toxic way because this is the line they are all using every time she tries to say something. I think Museveni was extremely abusive. That probably the time came when he had to choose between Winnie Byanyima and Kataha, and he ended up beating up Winnie Byanyima. Sad. Very sad. So, it is really, really unbelievable. Okay. And Muhoozi Kainerugaba hasn't been a fan of Winnie Byanyima because every time she has an opportunity to make comments about Muhoozi Kainerugaba, this is how she describes him.
Mudok
yabalyamu olukwe. Kaakati ani yandibadde mu dock
Museveni.
ng'awoozebwa okulyamu ensi olukwe? Museveni. Obudde bumuweddewo, ndaba atandise okuleeta omutabanyi. Omutabanyi omutwe tegukola bulungi. Siriibu. Yes.
Say that one more time.
Omutabanyi omutwe tegukola bulungi. Dock ng'awoozebwa okulyamu ensi olukwe. Museveni. Obudde bumuweddewo, ndaba atandise okuleeta omutabanyi. Omutabanyi omutwe tegukola bulungi.
So they are good at it. Okay, in these moments, I usually say, let them fight. Look, I don't want to ridicule Winnie Byanyima. I don't even want to know about her past relationship with Museveni and how it ended. But the more Muhoozi continues to impulsively respond, the more a window into their lives, in their lives, is actually open to us to sort of be like, let me see. Or a door, we actually enter through the door to be like, who is this man? You know, who is this man? And stuff like this continue to confirm what we've always believed. Museveni being a sociopathic, I mean, is a psycho, is everything you don't want to see in a leader. And now we're being told of how abusive he is. Of how, and we have seen him when he's talking to people, he ridicules them, calls them poor, threatens them. He talks to them like they're kids. You see people around him all refer to him as Muhoozi, even those that are almost his age mate. Like you saw Proskovia Nareso referring to Janet Museveni, mom. I mean, they're almost the same age, I think, if not older. But they've built this facade of a personality, some sort of a cult-like personality, that they should be pampered, venerated and revered and put on a pedestal, that there's something special. Zero. Kataha mama. Mama for whom? Museveni, Muhoozi. Cut the crap. Muhoozi. I don't care. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, now that's what I wanted to show you. I hope you enjoyed this one. I'm so glad that, every time he does this, at least it shows us the kind of a person we're dealing with. And even those folks within the military, things might change in Uganda. It might require folks within the regime to actually kickstart the end to this embarrassing criminal regime. So every time he does this, he exposes himself to those who were sort of thinking to give him benefit of doubt. They'll be like, wait, is this what we want in a commander-in-chief? So, Muhoozi Kainerugaba, go forward. Keep going, brother. Keep going. We love it. Threaten Iran. Go on and threaten Kenya. Go on and expose what your dad did to Winnie Byanyima. Tell us about how many people you have killed and how you feel proud. Keep going. Keep going. Expose yourself. Expose yourself. Now we know. We won't be surprised. Gosh, how embarrassing. Anyways, that's it for now, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this one. I said, hey, we need to laugh at Muhoozi Kainerugaba. All right. My name is Mordecai Morisa. Go on and subscribe. Write in the comment section. Share with folks out there. If you're watching me from your university, now you know what to do. First of all, go to your lecture room. Tell all those friends of yours at Makerere, at KIU, at Nkumba, Ndeje, and the rest of you folks. I just I found out a few people commented on my a few videos ago, and they said, hey, Mordecai, we are watching you from the dormitory, university dormitory. So you have like 5 people watching me from these United States of the USA. I say hello to you guys. If you're a high school kid or primary, I don't care. If you're watching me from the market, wherever you're watching me, I do immensely appreciate. Thank you so much. And I truly, truly, truly love you that you show me that love Okay. Now, lastly, I told you that I'm looking to having 100 people to sponsor this show, and each one of you will be required to pay 20,000 shillings. We are almost getting there. We are, I think, around 80 people. So if you want to be part of the family, write to me on my WhatsApp. You want to get a pen, okay? +1 712 303 7831. Be like, hey, Mordecai, I want to sponsor your show, and I would truly, truly appreciate. All right. That's it for now. Bye-bye.
Did you enjoy what you just watched?
I'm sure they did.
I'm going to guess that you did. How about you consider subscribing to Mordecai Marissa Live YouTube channel? Thank you.